Today, I'm feeling discouraged. And the reason is because I'm taking this venture into neuroscience at Arizona State very seriously. And the class that I was the most excited about was Neuroscience 101. And when I get to this class, I find that it's not structured in a way that sets learners up for any type of success. And I don't know what I was expecting with online classes in the first place, to be frank, but I feel like, especially for a class that is teaching about the brain and how it works, and I would think that they would consider also how brains receive information. This whole online class situation is very discouraging, and I feel very bad for people that go into it kind of like I did, with a lot of excitement and all of that, because school, when structured this way, does not serve to teach learners. It serves to break them while they're trying. Now, just to kind of put some substance behind what I'm saying, I'm in this class. In the first section of the syllabus, when you first go into this class, I look like garbage today. Didn't really do anything. It's finals week, so I'm a little stressed. But when you look at the syllabus here, the first error happens within the first couple paragraphs. The syllabus lists resources you can reach out to if you need some assistance. You can go to something called office hours, which is where you can go over material and speak with a teaching assistant or speak with the professor. You are allowed 15 minutes. And usually, if you don't get into these meetings quick enough, like if you don't, as soon as they open for the week, schedule a time, there's no time. There, for this class, or from the syllabus perspective, there's one teaching assistant for, what are we at, 100 students? A little over 100 in this class. 100-something students in an online course it's unrealistic that they will be able to support the needs of these learners. The logic isn't logicking. There's one teaching assistant and one professor, and we are given 15 minutes of their time, maybe, during the day, if we can click on the button fast enough. I don't even know where to start with all of the errors that are happening within this structure, and I'm kind of just at a loss here. It's like I went into this so motivated and so excited, and I'm reading all of the content, and then I'm reading the recommended reading, and then I'm reading the optional reading. I'm watching videos, and I've learned more on Khan Academy, which is a free resource online, and from Hank Green, who's another free resource online, than I have within Arizona State. I've received more guidance from a stranger, from Hank Green, than I have my professor. And each module, it has these like required readings, recommended reading, optional reading, related videos, and then it has a study guide. Now, if you break down the word study guide, the word guide is in there, creating the assumption that this is the resource that's going to guide your learning. Now, I think it goes without saying that a study guide is not something that you can just fill out the answers and assume that you know the topic. I think that kind of goes without saying. But by module 3 within my neuroscience course, I noticed that the study guide doesn't even touch on the things that are within the quizzes. It doesn't even touch on it. So to give you some perspective, these readings that we're doing are on average 55 pages of very intense, detailed things about the brain. And to expect a student to memorize all 55 pages with no guidance on, I think you know where I'm going with this. There's literally no guidance in this class. I've read all of the material. I've taken, this is my notes for one chapter. And it's front and back. Like, this is one chapter worth of notes. And I've read, 25 chapters? I've got books worth of notes. And all of these notes are still a D in the class. I'm going to end up with a D in this class. Right now I have a 73%. And I've really felt like I was understanding these topics because I'm following the study guide as a guidance to gain understanding. And then I take the quizzes and they're about something completely different. Or they're asking questions that are so filled with distraction from the actual point that it's impossible for people to answer them. I went through 3 of the quizzes with a teaching assistant because I got lucky and I was able to find some time with them. Not only did the teaching assistant not know how to pronounce any of the words on the quiz, but the response to the questions that I got incorrect were, well, it's in your book, and you shouldn't use the study guide as a way to guide your learning. Now, the biggest issue out of all of this is when I provided this feedback to the school, my response that I received was, well, I would consider withdrawing from this class. Maybe you can get a compassionate withdrawal. The thing is, if I withdraw from this class and then I take it again, the same issue is going to happen. It's an issue with the curriculum and the availability of the resources available within the... Anyway, I'm discouraged today. It's too late for me to withdraw from this class. I currently have a 73 in Neuroscience 101 while thinking that I had a good understanding of all of the concepts. I followed the study guides. I did extra learning on my own. I reached out to the professor to get cold responses every time. Well, consider withdrawing. Well, consider giving me some guidance. Consider doing your job. It's disappointing. It's so disappointing. And this is the same thing that happened in my last biology class, which I was able to somehow get an A in. Mostly because the study guides were accurate. In biology, I felt like I was way out of my league. I was stressed out. I felt like I was so far behind. But the study guides were actually guiding learning. So as long as I followed that, then I would prevent myself from getting distracted by all of the details. In this class, the study guides are completely irrelevant. They're practically useless. The teaching assistants, practically useless. They literally don't even know how to pronounce words. I spent hours going through making sure that I understand the words, making sure that I understand all of this. To give you an example, there's a word, acetylcholine. It is the most important neurotransmitter in our readings here. I haven't gotten that far, so I can't say without any exceptions. But in our readings, the most important neurotransmitter is acetylcholine. It is said in all of the videos. It is in all of the readings. I took the time to click pronunciation. The teaching assistant that was going over the quiz with me couldn't even get acetyl. Acetylcholine is kind of what it sounded like. And it's so distracting to have the person that's supposed to be your guidance not even be able to pronounce any of the words. Cation. Enzyme? Can you pronounce any of the words? Why are you a teaching assistant? Anyway, here's 10 minutes of me being very disappointed with Arizona State. Their online classes are really terrible, and I don't want to discourage anyone from furthering their education. But seriously, this is the worst. My English class was the most productive class I've taken. Really? It's crazy.